Today's Manna. 가스펠라이프 철치 데니얼 킴 목사가 보내드리는 시간입니다.
Hello to the friends and family of KCBS. My name is Daniel, serve as one of the pastors at the Wheaton area called Gospelife Church, and welcome to today's Manna. I remember going on many trips after I accepted a job offer here, and I recently just went to Pennsylvania for a wedding with my wife. And as you can imagine, when you and I go to a wedding, I have to pack up my suits and her dress and a hairdryer, and man, think about many luggages. And we had these two massive bags for a trip that we were going to go for a couple of days, right? And as I am like packing all these things and seeing how heavy this thing is, I'm realizing and I'm thinking, man, how am I going to carry this luggage all day? I don't know if I have enough money to be able to pay for this checked bags policy and all these things like that. And then I got to the airport and I realized that in my wallet, I had this American Airline Advantage credit card on me. And as I'm looking at the policies of this credit card, I realized that if I have this credit card, that I get to check these two heavy bags for free. And I just didn't realize that it was such a deal and looked just incredible. And I came to a realization at that moment that, man, I can just use this credit card whenever I travel to get a free checking bags. If the case is that I'm flying with American Airline. And when you and I think about the spiritual life, at times you and I seem like we're carrying such big luggages, two big bags that are taking over your life. Maybe you're carrying it with you, not just rolling with a luggage bag, but maybe some of you even having a school backpack, where you feel like, man, you're carrying so much burden, so much luggage, where you are thinking, man, I'm showing up to work, I'm waking up in the morning with so much baggage and question and doubts every single day of your life. To those people, there is a verse that's written in Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1. Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 says this, "Let us throw off everything that hinders and the sin that so easily entangles." What this verse is saying, hey man, listen, life is like a race, but one of the things that you must remember is that when we run the race, we are the best, we are the fastest, we're the most clear when you and I run without any obstacles, especially when we're not holding on to anything. What the verse is reminding us is, man, you and I, when we live out our life, when we run this race, when we are running this race, so many of the times, we often take it for granted. And so many of the times where we think, man, we're running this race so that we can actually have a lot of luggages and prove ourselves that we can actually do this while carrying the luggage. However, the spiritual life says this, you should not be running right now withholding the luggage, but rather, it is impossible for us to run with the luggage. We're the best, we're the most efficient, when we let it go. I was in a small group a couple days ago, and on Wednesday night we were sitting down and we were discussing, and one of a gentleman expressed something that was really convicting in my heart, where he was saying, hey, Pastor Daniel, you know, in our life setting, when you and I face trouble, he says, man, I'm become a diehard problem solver. I try to solve it on my own, and when I can't do it, then I go to God, right? And as I'm listening to this man sharing and being so vulnerable with his thoughts, I kind of took a pause and thought to myself, you know, I think you and I do this as well. We often take it for granted. We try to take all the burden, solve it on our own. And when you and I are stuck, that's when we go to God. But Hebrews chapter 12, verse 1 is reminding us this. When you and I are running this spiritual journey, it is important for us to remember, hey, don't just hold on to things all the time. Try to solve the problem on your own, but rather to remember that, hey, He is going to be our problem solver. He is going to provide all our needs. This is why the Word of God says this, come to me, all who are so weary, and then I will give you rest. Friends and family, instead of running our own race, instead of thinking that we have the best solution to all the problems, why don't you and I remember that the Word of God encourages us for us to walk this race without any obstacles.
지금까지 가스펠라이프 철치의 데니얼 킴 목사였습니다. 성경이나 예수 그리스도에 관해서 더 알기를 원하시는 분은 시카고 기독교 방송 전화 847-583 영원 구원으로 연락 바랍니다.